Hi, I'm Maura and this is Kitty, and she's my fourth little baby. So my first birth was a vaginal birth after induction, and my second birth then was a Caesarean section because my baby was breech. My third birth was a vaginal birth after section where I was induced. My waters were broken, then I had a syntocin drip. And then little Kitty came along and was very dramatic. She kept turning breeching to phallic every second day, and there was a lot of drama as to how she was going to be born. So I suppose it depended on who I met in clinic as to whether I was kind of being encouraged to go for a section, if that was the safest option, or whether I could continue on until my due date or past it and go for a vaginal birth. My preference definitely would have been a vaginal birth because, as I had previously had one, I knew the recovery afterwards was a lot easier. And my previous vaginal births were, I suppose, straightforward, and I wouldn't say easy, but we're over and done with and forgotten about. I was going to the midwifery-led clinic and I was breech, so I was booked in for a Caesarean section. I had been really well informed, I suppose, previous to that about the risks of continuing on in pregnancy and seeing if she would turn, the percentage chance that she might turn. I really feel like I was given all of the information at the midwifery-led clinic. Alex had given me numbers of other people to speak to Linda, to loads of different people about, I suppose, all of my options, and I was really well informed, so I felt confident making the decision that I was making. I went in to have my Caesarean section, and Alex had advised me to just ask for a scan that morning to be 100% sure. So I suppose my bump was checked and they said, yeah, no, she's definitely breech. So I suppose I felt empowered then to ask for a scan, which was given to me, and the minute the scanner went onto my tummy, they said, yeah, no, she's phallic. So there was no, I suppose when I came back onto the ward then it was the question of, do I still go for a Caesarean because it was here and everything was ready, or do I go home and continue on with the pregnancy and past term with the possibility that she might turn. I was told the chances of her turning were very low, but I suppose I knew I didn't want to have a Caesarean unless it was really necessary. There was a lovely registrar who came up, and his words were, there are no clinical reason as to why you need to have a Caesarean. So that really took pressure off me because I was afraid of making the wrong decision. I was really well supported to not have the Caesarean if I chose not to. So I chose not to. I went home and continued on, was monitored maybe every 2 to 3 days then in the hospital. And came to 40+10, I came in for my induction, and I was checked by Mr. Fergus McCarthy and his registrar, and they were happy that I suppose I didn't look like I was going to go into labour easily that day, so I was let go home again and went into labour myself that night. It was all lovely. We were getting ready to watch the toy show. Came into hospital and Kitty was born an hour later, with no complications, no anything, and we were discharged the following day or the day later. And yeah, I'm delighted with, I suppose, how things went in the end. Feeling that you have all the knowledge that you need to have is the most important thing. And getting that from good sources that are the staff here in CUMH, rather than having to Google and wondering, is this a reliable source of information or not? But from everybody, from midwives, consultants, registrars, I was given lots of information, I was given choice. And I think that's the most important thing. If you feel like you're being pushed into a decision that you're not comfortable with, take your time, look to speak to somebody else, and don't rush a decision. or don't feel like you have to rush a decision. Just speak to somebody else, get all the information that you can, and make sure that your decision is as informed as possible and that you're really happy with it. After my first vaginal delivery, I remember I stood up and there was restrictions on in the hospital because of the flu outbreak or something. And I remember after my first baby, I walked downstairs and met my parents-in-law, and it was lovely. Whereas after my second baby that was delivered by Caesarean section, I was really restricted in that there was pain and you had to kind of mind yourself. I remember getting in and out of bed in the next to me crib, the pain after that. Also driving, you know, I couldn't drive, and I had an older child who didn't have a huge amount of family around at the time to drive me here, there and everywhere. So that was a big restriction. And I knew if I could do anything to avoid that. I had also done a good bit of research on the benefits of a vaginal birth and baby for numerous reasons, and I suppose I wanted to, if at all possible, have a vaginal birth. It just seemed like the more natural option for me, and I suppose, as I said, I previously had one. I knew I could do it, I knew my body could do it. I knew with 2 other babies at home, or 3 other babies at home, I wanted to be able to walk out of hospital and not have restrictions and not have major recovery afterwards. So that was a big factor for me, as I suppose there's pros for baby and for mother to go for a VBAC compared to another section in my experience. Yeah. Yeah.